You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to show number 144 of the Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name's Haydn. Today is Sunday, the 24th of July, and I'm on my own. Unfortunately, Steve is suffering from the effects of COVID and isn't with us today, so it's just me. So bear with me, and hopefully we'll have a good show. Not much really to update you guys on. Just been going to work, all of that sort of thing. Of course, one thing I have been doing is, I have been for all of July, is doing the Children's Society Gaming Challenge, 24 hours of gaming in July, which, let's face it, for any gamer is not really that much of a challenge unless you're doing it for a full 24 hours straight. And even then, sometimes for some of us hardcore gamers, that's not necessarily a challenge in itself. But I've been streaming more or less every night. There's been a couple of nights where it's just been too hot off for whatever reason. I've not streamed. But generally speaking, I've been streaming every night for the last month. So far, I've raised over £100. The charity, the Children's Society, is trying to get money together for children who self-harm, have been exploited, have been abused or neglected. It really is a great cause. I would like to actually reach my goal of being at least £150 more, preferably. If any of you guys want to contribute to that, it would be really fantastic, especially if you've been dropping in and out of the streams and seeing what I've been playing, which I'll talk more about later on. But it is for a good cause. Personally, I'm a big supporter of the Children's Society. I think they do really incredibly important work. So if you wouldn't mind, please do contribute, even if it's only £1. If we got every listener who listens to this show to contribute just £1, we would get hundreds of pounds for the Children's Society. Just £1. Let's face it, it's not a lot of money. I know times are stretching, but, for £1. If you can, be really grateful. You can go to my Just Giving site. I'll put the details in the description. I'll also put it on our Facebook, and I will also put it on our Twitter accounts. There's also a Facebook fundraiser as well. So if you find me on Facebook, you can go to that fundraiser and donate there. But please do donate. It's a great cause. It's a great charity. It's a really worthwhile thing to do. All right, so let's get on with the show.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, gaming this week. So we've got a couple of bits of news for you here. So first off, we're heading over to EA. And EA is ending BioWare points and making Dragon Age and Mass Effect DLC for free. So EA is officially removing the BioWare points from its currency in the Origin store. This is to make up for it. EA is now offering the DLC for Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age Origins 2 and Mass Effect 2 and 3 to all players for free. So the one group of DLC that won't be listed within this will be Mass Effect 3's multiplayer packs, and those who wish to purchase those packs can do so with BioWare points until October the 11th. After that date, the multiplayer packs will only be redeemable using credits you've earned in-game. The next bit of news comes from Russia. So after a bit of a tax exodus from Russia, Russia is preparing to fund its own national game engine. So supporting an independent Russian game engine could require billions of rubles over many years, some of the tech-heaviest hitters in Russia, including their homegrown Facebook alternative called Kontakti, which means in touch or something like that, has recently been cajoling ministers to allocate potentially billions of rubles to find a Russian national game engine, or to fund a national game engine, I should say. A source close to the Russian government claims that Russian tech titans are deep in talks with ministers of the digital development to fund an alternative to the game engines such as Unreal and Unity, in the wake of basically all of the tech companies leaving Russia because of the Ukrainian invasion. The Russian government has talked of its plans for digital sovereignty for a while now, and the idea of a state-backed game engine has gained a lot of momentum since it's been floated as a possibility in May. Prominent supporters include the United Russian Duma Deputy Anton Golkin and the Russian state telecommunications provider Rostelcom. The national game engine is considered to be an important and urgent task, so it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. Another piece of news as well is about NVIDIA graphics cards. We know for a very long time, particularly over lockdown, graphics card prices have skyrocketed, absolutely through the roof. Well, it's now all comes crashing down. NVIDIA has confirmed that it is cutting the price on its most expensive RTX 30 series graphics cards. It's not a surprise that NVIDIA has chosen the RTX 3090 Titans and the 3090 graphics cards and the 3080 Titans and 3080 12GB as the cards to get this sort of discount and support in its channel. These are GPUs which are going to be replaced in the dawn of the Lovelace era of GeForce graphics. And if rumours are to be believed about these new RTX 40 series graphics cards that are coming out, then the 3080s and 90s are going to look rather pedestrian against the new AD10X GPUs. So it's time, if you want to grab a graphics card, now seems to be the time to actually do that. Okay, so for new releases then, we have Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olivetown on the PS4, Bear and Breakfast on the PC. On the 29th we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on the Switch. Also on the 29th we have Digimon Survive on PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC. On July the 29th we have RimWorld Console Edition on PS4 and Xbox One. And then there isn't any releases up until August the 9th, where we have 2 Point Campus on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Switch and PC, and Thymensia on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC. So it's slim pickings time. We know that this time of the year is always really, really quiet. But the positive thing is, if you're on consoles and you're subscribing to either Xbox or PlayStation game libraries, then you've got plenty of games to go at. Even on PC as well, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate fan as well, which, let's face it, a lot of people are nowadays. Anyway, in terms of free giveaways at the moment, looking on the Epic Store, then there is Shop Titans, which is now free until 4 PM on July the 28th, and also World War One Tannenberg, which again is free until then. And then if you really want to have a game that's a cut above the rest, coming from July the 28th, there is Lawn Mowing Simulator. So that'll be another one for you to be able to have a go at. Anyway, let's have a chat about what I've been playing. If you've been watching my stream, you'll know I've been playing a few different games, some of which have been more themed in relation to mental health issues, that sort of thing, to cover the fact that I am doing this streaming for people with various different conditions, such as self-harming behaviour and that sort of thing. So that's sort of, how can I put it, influenced my decision on some of the games. Not all of them, I must admit. So the actual ones that I have played that are really in relation to that is a game called Actual Sunlight. This was a short interactive story about love, depression and corporation. It was quite a hard-hitting game from what I can remember of it. It's not my usual sort of game, even though it was an indie game, but it did have a very interesting story, and it was dealing with issues about somebody who was sort of like self-harming, suicidal in there. Some of the language in the game was quite choice, which is, fair enough. It's an adult game tackling adult themes, but it is that sort of, bit graphics rather than being something more contemporary. Another game that I played was called Fractured Minds. Now, this is a game that was created by a young woman called Emily Mitchell. Now, Emily won the BAFTA Young Game Designers Award for 15 to 18-year-olds for Fractured Minds. It's a bit of an unusual sort of game, but the idea behind the Fractured Minds game is basically that you take control of an unnamed protagonist and you progress through 6 bleak atmospheric chapters, each of which has their own different challenge associated with mental illness, such as isolation, paranoia and anxiety. And through the experiences portrayed in the game, you're basically loosely inspired by the real day-to-day life occurrences, the viewpoints of the characters' mental health issues that render them basically disturbing and distorted beyond recognition. And the viewpoint character progresses through a sort of personal and emotional journey until the resolution of the game. I have played this one before. I've never actually streamed this one, but this was one of many indie games that I've played in the past. It is quite a unique experience. Obviously, working in the area of safeguarding, I'm very sort of like familiar with some of these things that get raised. And it's actually interesting seeing this being converted to a video game. So it isn't very expensive. It's only a couple of pounds to actually buy, but it's worth a look, or at least just have a look at the recording that is on the Pop Culture Gamers stream of the Children's Society's challenge. You can watch it there as well if you don't want to actually buy the game. But please don't forget, thinking about that again, please don't forget to donate. If you're listening to the show, please, even if it's £1, if we've got every listener to do it, we will get a lot of money for charity. Okay, so that's the first game that I've been playing. The next game, that was the second game I've been playing, rather. The next game I've been playing is one from Hideo Kojima, which is Death Stranding. But this is the director's cut, and I've been playing it on PC, which seemed to have caused a little bit of confusion earlier on in all of the streams, because somebody thought I was playing it through PlayStation Plus, which I wasn't. No, I was actually playing it on the PC. And as you would expect, this game looked beautiful originally. When you played it on the PlayStation 4, it looks even better on a PC with ray trace graphics and everything. The game is as mad as a bag of frogs. It is really, really weird game. You played, or your character, which you see through third person sort of point of view, is played by Norman Reedus. This has some really good names attached to it in terms of the actors who were playing in this, and I think it goes to show Hideo Kojima's sort of pull in this area and how much of a recognised sort of game developer he actually is. It's a very unique sort of story in here. A lot of people have likened this to a walking simulator, and sort of seeing the moment-to-moment views of the game, I can understand, and I think I've even done it myself, refer to it as a walking simulator. However, it's an awful lot more different to that. I know it might sound like a little bit strange, but once you see the way that you equip the things that you're delivering, they sort of like rack up and up and up, and you find lost cargo in the world and stuff like that. Then when you start loading all of that up, it changes your centre of balance. And you can actually use that change in centre of balance as an advantage if you want to run faster, because your character will for a short time and that sort of thing, because the gravity is pulling them along faster as well. It's sort of like trying to stop themselves from falling. But in terms of it as a walking simulator, it isn't really a walking simulator. Although there is a lot of walking involved, that's the main part of the game. It's more, there is more strategy involved with it. There is more about planning your route as well. It's not like it's Assassin's Creed where you can run around in the towns, or you can just climb straight over a building that's in front of you, and it will probably be quicker than running around it. This is much more difficult to get up and down areas. You don't have the Assassin's Creed sort of abilities to climb and to jump and all of that sort of stuff. You do have things like ladders and ropes, and you can leave those in the world, and then other players will be able to benefit from where you've left a ladder or a rope and stuff like that. And that starts to open up as you play more and more in the game. And this is where one of the first very subtle sort of parts in the game I never realised, even playing the original, although I didn't play it that much, but even playing the original and then coming back and playing the director's cut, is it has a liking system. So if you put a rope somewhere or a sign, then somebody can like what you have put. Or they can give you loads and loads of likes. And the more likes that you get, the more objects from other players that you can see in the world as well. Now, this might be a rope, or it might be a ladder, or it might be a bridge, or it might be a road, or it might be, when you start to get your electric vehicles, it might be a charging station, or it might be an area for you to be able to rest and get your strength and stamina and all of that sort of thing back. So this isn't as straightforward as it seems, and it's quite a unique way of having a multiplayer sort of experience, but without actually meeting any players. The other thing as well is, obviously this is about delivering things, and what you can do when you either find a post box in the world, which you can place them there as well, and people can light them and deliver stuff in your post box. What you can do is you can what's the best? You can get other players to deliver your stuff. So you have a private post box and you have a public post box, and you can, if you say want somebody else to deliver your item, you can put it in there and enable that will be diverted to another player's game, that'll be picked up and delivered and blah blah blah. Or the other thing you can do as well is you can actually put useful objects in there. That might be a weapon, that might be a ladder, it might be anything. You know, it could be a floating trolley that you get later on in the game. I would say that the game really starts to open up from about episode 3. That's where you get a lot more gear. So you get better exoskeletons, so you can carry more. You get access to more vehicles in the world as well. And the game just opens up a whole lot. It is a post-apocalyptic sort of world. The way that the world is that if somebody dies, unless their body is cremated, then there will basically be a thermonuclear explosion after so long. There is this substance in the atmosphere which collects. It's got this really weird thing about the fact that there is rain, which they call timefall, and when the rain hits anything, it ages it, hence why it's called timefall. You've got the Doom's infection, which allows you to see these sort of spirits that are from the afterlife or another world sort of thing, that float around and are tethered together, and then you get these, if they catch you, you get these BTs, which to beach things, so that the world, you will suddenly see the area will turn to liquid around you, and then these figures will try and pull you down into it. If they pull you down into it, you'll then start to skid off. You'll lose a lot of your accessories and anything that you carry in, and it can get damaged in that time as well. And then you'll get a massive BT that will be there as well, and then you will have to either escape it or fight it. At the end of episode 2, I think it is the first time you really fight a BT, because you get these explosive grenades which are made out of either your urine or your stools or your shower, what's washed off you from the shower. I can't remember which one. It's very, very weird. But basically there is something about your character that produces this sort of anti-BT stuff. You also can pee on them as well, which is very, very weird. So there's all, it's very typical sort of Hideo Kojima, as the sort of mad things that he would put in a game, and it's exactly what he's sort of done. But it plays incredibly well, and I've gone from sort of thinking, it's a beautiful game, to like thinking, I could just do another couple of deliveries. That'll take me about 20 minutes to get there, and then I'll stop. And then you don't stop and you carry on. You say, I'll just do one more delivery. And then the next thing you know, you've been sat there for 2 or 3 hours. But it is an enjoyable game. It's actually, I find it quite sort of relaxing most of the time. The whole BT and Doom sort of part where you can get caught by these floating spirits, it's not half as scary or bad as you think, because there's very little consequence to you. The worst that will happen is you'll die and get resurrected, but most likely you'll either run out of the area or you'll defeat the BT that attacks you. So it's not a big sort of thing, especially as you're getting on later on in the game. There are a lot of chapters. I'm only on after God knows how many hours. I'm about 20 hours. I think I'm only on about chapter 3 or 4. So I'm not that far in, but I'm taking my time. I'm exploring the world. I'm setting up stuff, all of that sort of stuff. You're just enjoying it as a game. Again, like I said, go onto our YouTube channel. You will see on there everything that I've done. In terms of the gameplay, I would say probably about 80% of the game I've actually done online. I've played some of it offline as well, just to progress the story a little bit, but when it was not convenient to stream. But yeah, it's a really good fun game. If you've got the chance to play it, I would strongly recommend either the original Death Stranding or this one. There are more options in the director's cut. There's more scenes. There's more of everything, including tools. So I think that you can get drones and stuff like that, which I don't think were in the originals. Later on, you can get zip lines and all of that sort of stuff as well. But it's one of those things of, even when you do get a vehicle, it doesn't mean it's going to be the best way of travel. So, for example, if you've got to go up a mountain, a truck or a reverse three-wheeler motorbike is not going to go up a mountain as well as a human, especially with an exoskeleton. So it really is very, very unusual. And yes, you have seen it right. Your character does have a baby, which is referred to as BB, on his chest. And what that does is it helps you see the BTs floating around before they actually get you. Those are the stealth areas of the game where you can hold your breath if you get too close to them. Your sort of like scanner will flash faster and faster the closer that you get to them. And to sneak out, what you will always find is on the major missions, there is always going to be some involvement of stealth to get through that area, because there is going to be rainfall, the timefall rather, and all of that sort of stuff in the area, which is also aside with the fact that there is BTs. But you can look to see what the weather's like in the far distance. And if you're heading towards it and you can see these black strands coming down from the sky, you can see where that trouble's going to be. So sometimes you can go right the way around the outside, and that can be quicker going around a large area than it can be to just go straight through where the BTs are. So, like I said, I'm loving the game. Absolutely. It's a beautiful looking game. It's great to play. It is a really interesting story. I am following it. I don't think I could describe it really. But basically you're going from the east coast to the west coast of America to meet up with you. I'm not sure whether I think she's your sister or she's your wife or something or other. I think it's sister, who is who is to be the new president of America. Like I said, it's all weird, but it's great. Fantastic game. Well worth a go. I would definitely recommend it. And that's on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 with enhanced features, and also on PC. Unfortunately, if you're just on Xbox, I'm afraid you're out of luck. Get yourself a PlayStation. Okay, so with that said, let's move on to movies, TV and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so movies, TV and streaming, and a couple of bits of news. Evidently, Keanu Reeves has been chatting about the DC universe and says it would be his dream to play Batman in a live-action movie. So, Reeves is voicing the Caped Crusader in DC League of Super Pets movie, which is out now. And Keanu Reeves has revealed that he would love to play Batman in a live-action movie. The actor's already voicing the character in the upcoming animated movie, DC League of Super Pets. It's always been a dream, but Robert Pattinson has got Batman right now and he's doing awesome, so it may be down the road. Reeves told Extra, maybe when they need an older Batman. Well, unfortunately, Keanu, I think that they've already got an older Batman with Michael Keaton, but I would really love to see Keanu Reeves as Batman. I think that would be cool. So, anyway, let's hope that he gets it. But DC Super Pets arrives on the 29th of July, while Black Adam hits theatres later on this year in October. And another bit of news, at the recent Comic-Con, there has been more news about Marvel's phases 4, 5 and 6. So, the MCU has been shaken up, and it's been confirmed that the Black Panther sequel, Wakanda Forever, will now be the final instalment of Marvel Phase 4. And the third Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, Quantumania, will be the start of Phase 5. That was announced on Saturday by Kevin Feige at the San Diego Comic-Con. So let's see some of the things that we already know, because we now know the calendar as it stands right now for Phases 5 and 6 of the MCU. So from February the 17th, we will have Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. In spring 2023, we will have Secret Invasion on Disney+. This is the upcoming series that sees Nick Fury, i.e. Samuel L. Jackson, and Talos from Ben Mendelsohn team up in a conspiracy theory where Skrulls have infiltrated the Earth at the highest levels. On the 5th of May 2023, we will have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So this is James Gunn's return for the third and maybe last entry in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. And it will focus, or rather, it will be the last for this particular team with a focus on Rocket, as per the SDC conversation. In summer 2023, we will have on Disney Plus Echo. So this is the spin-off series from Hawkeye, which will follow Alakwa Cox's Maya Lopez on there. And then in summer 2023, we will also have Loki Season 2. I was really hoping that we weren't going to have to wait another year for Loki. I loved that show. After all, I did name my new dog Loki as well, and he really is the dog of mischief. On the 28th of July 2023, we will have The Marvels, and this is the sequel to Captain Marvel, and will be directed by Nia DaCosta from Candyman fame, and we'll be seeing the first meeting of Kamala Khan with her idol Carol Danvers. I don't know if any of you guys have been watching Ms. Marvel. I've tried and failed, and I'm trying again. I've got up to episode 2 so far, which, let's face it, it's not exactly Marvel that is aimed at males of 50-year-olds or anything like that. It's much more, a younger sort of audience sort of target. On the 3rd of November 2023, there is going to be Blade, and this is going to be the superhero movie reboot of all time, I think, is best to say. And this time with Mahershala Ali as the lead half-vampire Bassam Tariq. In the fall, you can tell I'm reading this from American sources, or in the autumn, is Ironheart. That will be on Disney+. And that will follow Riri Williams as a young engineering student who makes a superhero iron suit such as Iron Man, and will be played by Dominique Thorne from If Beale Street Could Talk, and we'll see, and she will be seen first in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, evidently. This one, I think, is going to be really interesting, because in winter of 2023, we are going to get Agatha, Coven of Chaos on Disney+. And this is going to be the WandaVision spin-off series following Catherine Hanna's Agatha Harkness character, which I think will be incredibly interesting to watch. I really liked her character in WandaVision. I think she played a good part, so it's going to be really good to see that. In the spring of 2024, we will have Daredevil Reborn again, and this will have Charlie Cox with reprising his role as Daredevil in the upcoming series. Obviously, we know that Daredevil recently appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home, and is also going to appear as well in the upcoming series She-Hulk Attorney at Law. On the 3rd of May 2024, we're going to have Captain America New World Order. So this will be Sam Wilson returning once again, and will be donning the shield after Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the latest instalment in one of MCU's oldest franchises. The New World Order was also the title of the first episode of that series, and the movie will be directed by Julius Orna, who was from the Cloverfield Paradox. On the 26th of July 2024, there will also be Thunderbolts. If you're not familiar with these, the Thunderbolts are anti-hero team of reformed supervillains, and that will be out then. And then Marvel Phase 6, and this is where it gets really exciting. 8th of November 2024, we will be seeing the Fantastic Four. They will finally be arriving in the MCU. So after the 3 previous attempts at the Fantastic Four movie, we're going to have to say, is this going to be one that's going to really work, or is it going to be like the other ones and be a bit meh? Well, the last one was particularly terrible, but I didn't mind the other 2 previous ones that we had. And then this is where it gets really big. On the 2nd of May 2025, we get Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and this will be the first part of a 2-part conclusion to Phase 6. And it's basically an Infinity War sort of level threat. If you don't know what this is about, there is a character in the MCU called Kang the Conqueror. There are this goes into the multiverse, which is obviously where we are at the moment. We've already seen Kang the Conqueror if you've seen Loki, you have seen Kang the Conqueror. He was the one who remains. He was the guy in the castle at the centre of time. So that's him. He's Kang the Conqueror, but he's the Kang the Conqueror that won. And basically, all of that is now undone, and we're having a multiverse war yet again. And then on the 7th of November 2025, we will have Avengers Secret Wars, and this will be the second of a two-part Phase 6 sort of level endgame kind of plot. Obviously, this is going to be Avengers Secret Wars. So I think that this is looking really exciting. I know that there's going to be a lot of critics out there who are going to be going, oh my God, how many Marvel movies are coming out? Because it is, well, amazing how much is coming out either through Disney Plus or, at the cinema. It's absolutely massive. This is just a juggernaut that keeps on going. I'm sure there'll be lots of people who will be, I'm a little bit MCU'd out now. I want to get off this particular bus. And I can understand that as well. Sometimes the movies are good, sometimes they're a bit meh. But, such is life, isn't it? But let's face it, it's still going strong. And as long as we all keep going and seeing it, Marvel are going to be making them. So not much more we can say about that. Other than, sounds like it's going to be awesome a few years to come. Okay, cinema releases. Then on the 29th of July, we've got DC League of Super Pets and Joyride. And then on the 3rd of August, we've got the one I've been looking forward to, which is Bullet Train. So that's that there. In terms of recently released and upcoming Blu-ray and DVDs, I'm sure you already have seen, but there is, on the 18th of July, there was Dalek's Invasion of Earth 2150 4K edition and Steelbook edition. There's also Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness 4K Blu-ray and DVD edition as well. On the 25th of July, there is Cult Spaghetti Westerns box set, so that's Django, A Bullet for the General, aka Q Saber, and Kioma. And then we've also got Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore on 4K Blu-ray and DVD. And coming up as well, we have Get Carter special editions, and that's on 4K Blu-ray and normal Blu-ray as well. So there's lots of stuff coming very shortly. Cinema charts. At number 5, we've got Jurassic World Domination. At number 4, we have Top Gun Maverick. At number 3, we have Elvis. And at number 2, we have Minions 2, The Rise of Gru. And at number 1, we've got Thor, Love and Thunder. More about that very shortly. Blu-ray and DVD charts. In terms of Blu-rays and DVDs, number 5 is Dune. Number 4 is Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. I think this is because I've been doing a run on the 4K Steelbook. At number 3, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. At number 2, we have The Batman. And at number 1, The Beatles, Get Back. Okay, so in terms of what we've been watching, I've got a really good TV show to recommend to you guys. If you've never seen this and you've got Sky, then that would be the show Breeders. So this stars Martin Freeman, as in, yes, from The Office, from the Marvel MCU, etc., and also Sherlock, and Daisy Haggard, and they're returning in the 3rd season of this show. I absolutely love this. It's a dark comedy about an average family facing a normal sort of day-to-day life pressures of being a parent. So there's great acting from all of the cast. This season carries on from the last one with Martin Freeman's character Paul living at his parents' as his son won't live at home if he stays. The reason being is because his character has anger management issues and it makes his son highly anxious. So his son ran away in the last season and ended up living with his grandparents for a while, but moved back, and then Martin Freeman's character moved out. What I found is that some of the really emotional stories, including something that happens with Paul's parents, were quite hard-hitting. and maybe hard for some people. I think as a 40 to 50 age group, some things that happen in this show will really resonate with a lot of people. Even in the 30s, I'm quite sure it will resonate. If you're younger than that, you're probably not going to appreciate it in quite the same way. But it's a great take on normal life. It's currently on Sky. You can download the whole season altogether, and it's great. I absolutely love this show. It's one of my favourite shows on Sky for British TV. Well worth a watch. Highly recommend it. My next thing is I've been to see Thor Love and Thunder. So Taika Waititi directs the latest in the Thor series of Marvel movies, following obviously the highly successful Thor Ragnarok. The movie follows Thor rescuing children from who have been abducted from New Asgard when Gorr the God Butcher attempts to kill Thor, only to be confronted with two Thors rather than one. The movie explores Thor's relationship with Jane Foster. We get to find out more about the backstory and everything that happened in relation to why did they split up and all of that sort of thing. And it's really interesting to see because you can see both sort of sides of that. There's also a great joke as well. I know it's very obvious and a lot of us have said it, but some of the characters keep getting mixed up with Jane Foster and Jodie Foster. It's just one of those quite amusing things. But the movie, it's absolutely loaded with humour and is very entertaining. Think Ragnarok, but think of it put on steroids, but maybe a little bit too much steroids, because I personally found Ragnarok to be the best Thor movie, whereas this was just a little bit in parts too silly for me. Some of the scenes, I also thought the special effects looked slightly unfinished. I think it's probably because they're using the same technology as is used in The Mandalorian, and the graphics maybe on the big screen weren't up for it in the same way as they are on the TV. I know that the director, who was considered to be like the golden boy in terms of directing, Taika, has come under a lot of fire about being a bit of a corporate sellout with this movie. But like I said, personally, I found it entertaining. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely the second best Thor movie. For me, though, the absolute outstanding part in all of this movie was not Thor, or the Mighty Thor, which is obviously Natalie Portman's version of Thor, the female version, but it was actually Christian Bale's take on Gorr the God Killer, or the God Butcher, because he was absolutely fantastic and a very, very varied villain, and a very strong contender to the way you have the love for Thanos. I like this guy. I could understand his motivations. He had a god. He's just lost his child. This happens right at the beginning. He'd just lost his child. They died. He was the last person of his race. And then he finds this oasis in the middle of this desert, and his god is there, and his god is laughing and joking, and he says, "Please help us." And basically, he laughs at him because this god had just killed whoever was trying to kill the gods with this special blade at the beginning of the movie. Anyway, Christian Bale picks up this blade and kills his own god, and then vows to kill all gods. And that's how the story starts. So he's on a revenge path. He's also on a different path, which I'm not going to mention because that will ruin the ending. But he's got a very specific purpose in mind in terms of everything that he's doing as well. And he was just brilliant when he was talking to the kids, and he really did that sort of like creepiness with the kids in terms of just being creepy. But he was really good in the role. He was a good antagonist right throughout. Really liked him. I would love to have seen more of him doing that sort of role. Another big character who's in there, or actor, is Russell Crowe. And Russell Crowe played Zeus. And this is one of the sort of like times where I cringed a little bit. Russell Crowe's a great actor. You know, I love Gladiator, all of that, you know, I'm Maximus, blah, blah, blah. Love all of that. But, and I loved him in sort of like, you know, Man of Steel and all of the other things he's been in. I just did not like him in the same way in this, because for whatever reason, in terms of the approach that they've taken to sort of doing this movie, they decided to make him Monty Python-esque. And there is this one particular bit where he's addressing everybody in this grand chamber, and he's got Thor, and yeah, Thor does get stripped of all of his clothes with a flick sort of thing. But despite all of that, he comes down these steps and talks to Thor, and he's wearing, you know, a Greek outfit, and he has like a short sort of like skirt part of his outfit on, and he lifts up the sides of his skirt, and then he gently sort of like, you know, goes down the stairs in a very strange sort of comedic way. And you think, what is that about? This is the you know, Zeus, you know, the Greek god Zeus, who bore more gods. It's just utterly ridiculous. And ironically, it's quite funny, but Thor has a hero complex when it comes to Zeus, because obviously Thor's the god of thunder, and Zeus is all about lightning. You know, thunder comes after lightning. He's been a big fan, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so there is all of that sort of dynamic in, but that bit really was a bit that ruined it for me, I think. I think they could have made Zeus a much stronger sort of character. What I will say is, watch the end credits. Duh, it's a Marvel movie, but yeah, seriously, watch the end credits. So, overall, definitely worth a watch, but definitely better than the first two Thors, not as good as Ragnarok, and that's my view on it. Alright, so, I know that there is listener questions that are sat there, but I'm not going to do listener questions. I'm going to keep those until when Steve's back, and then we'll do them together. So I'm just going to call it a bit of an end show right now. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a short show, but hopefully some interesting stuff in there for you. Just as a reminder for everybody, until the end of this month, I am doing the Children's Society Gaming Challenge 24 hours in July. I do have a Just Giving page. I do have a fundraising page on Facebook. I will put the links and a QR code on for everybody so that you'll be able to get to donate. But please do. It's very worthwhile. It's for children who have been abused, neglected, exploited, or self-harm. Really worthwhile. Please, you know, support that. Anyway, just to do the normal sort of contact details. If you want to contact me, you can contact me on Twitter at HERJUK, PSN, Xbox Live, or Steam rather, is all HERJUK. Or on Epic, it's Pop Culture Gamers. If you want to follow the show, you can do so on YouTube, youtube.com/popculturegamers. On Twitter, Pop Culture Gamer, or on Facebook, we have a group. We also have a page as well, and you can email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk, and don't forget, our website is anchor.fm/popculturegamers. Alright, that's it for another week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully in a week or two's time, Steve will be back and we'll have a better chat. But until then, thanks for listening. Have a great summer, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.